Hey guys, it's Adam with Unleashed Wargaming. Got another 40k Batrep. This time it is my Night Strike Eldar versus Imperial Guard and Space Marine mix. He's playing Templars, Black Templars, and he's got a allied detachment of some Imperial Guard. So we're playing 1750 again, and yeah, it was a good game. Don't think you know how it's going to end too soon because this game is back and forth and really good. So anyway, here's an overlook. I didn't get a picture of the board before we set up. Not that it matters because you can see it all anyway. Lots of walls and buildings and rubble and all that kind of stuff. None of it really special. There are 6 objectives out there. You can see one on the far right at the corner of that building. There's one right in front of my unit of Dire Avengers in the middle. One directly across. They're kind of hard to spot, but you'll see them as we go. So he won the roll-off, decided that I should set up first, so I put, no, he chose to go first, set up first, that's right. So he set up all of his stuff. As you can see on my right, our right, his left, you got some Imperial Guard out there with some just some las guns and some meltas, things like that. Next to them is another 10-man unit of Imperial Guard. Behind them, he's got, I think it's 9 las cannons. Yeah, those are all on special bases with the sandbags and all that good stuff. Beside all those las cannons, he's got a unit of Marines there with his Warlord in it. Not sure exactly what the build is. I didn't get an army list. He had forgotten some stuff, had to make his list after he got there, so didn't get his list. Next to that unit of Space Marines in the very middle is another, I think, 3 las cannons behind that building. Then he's got some Assault Marines on the left there between the 2 buildings. I think 10 of them. There's 2 Power Fists in there. Then in the building on the far left, he's got I think it's a Thunderfire cannon. He's got I think it's a Tech Marine, is that what it is? Standing in there with it, and 5 scouts with sniper rifles. Camo cloaks in that building, so they got a 2-up cover save. Yeah, here's some close-ups. Those are the scouts and the Thunderfire cannon. That's a conversion that I made out of some leftover bits. Those are the Assault Marines. There's a look at his general's unit. His general is the one with the little flag on his back in the back there. And then he's got his Marines around him. You can see the 9 las cannons, and then the ones in the middle between the 2 units of 3 las cannons is those are all plasma guns, I think. Plasma rifles, whatever they are. Starting on my left side of the field, I have my Wraith Lord. He has 2 flamers and 2 scatter lasers. In that Wave Serpent there, it does have the Shuriken cannon. It has 5 Wraith Guard in it. This unit behind the little wall, sorry I didn't have them painted. I didn't know I was bringing them until too late. Anyway, 10 Dire Avengers with an Exarch and a Farseer in there. And that Seer, he has the spear out of the Iandan book. I only remember to use it one time, so it never really comes into play. In the middle of the board, inside that building, I have 5 Wraith Blades, and then 10 more Dire Avengers with my Warlord Farseer in there. And he's decked out. He's got the Mantle of the Laughing God. He's got just every Singing Spear, Ghost Helm, everything I could give him, he's got it. So, and then the Exarch in this unit has the Shimmer Shield, so this entire unit will get a 5-up invulnerable save as well. And then over on the far right, I decided to take 5 jet bikes because I haven't used them yet. I know they can do really good, so I wanted to try them out. Here's a look at my spells. I got Mind War on my Warlord. I got Executioner. and Guide, the Primaris power. Those are good. I haven't tried Executioner and Mind War yet. I was hoping to get Doom. What's the other one? Lets me reroll my armor saves, but oh well. Fortune, that's what I wanted. But Executioner, I don't see where that's such a wonderful spell. That seems really, really weak. But Mind War, I like to play the game of sniping characters. So Mind War, you'll see that come into play if I can manage to cast it. And then on my other Seer, I took Divination. I got Perfect Timing, ignoring cover, which is excellent. I got Prescience, which lets me reroll misses, and then Misfortune, which is a malediction. And oh yeah, you put that on an enemy, and everything that shoots at him gets rending. There's a look at my roll to seize the initiative, which I did. Which that's, you know what, going first in this game, it's not like fantasy. Going first in this game can cost you the game, actually. And so, yeah, it's always cool to see that you stole the initiative, and I wanted to go first, but there's always that risk, especially when there's flyers. Because off the board, he has two, oh goodness, Thunderhawks. I'm not sure what his flyers were called. I have my Crimson Hunter and my Hemlock Wraithfighter off the board, too. So, flyers are the difference in going first and second. When I started off with my objective, I got Ascendancy. So if I can hold 3 objectives, I get D3 points. After my movement, I jetted my jet bikes up to this first objective here. I moved my Dire Avengers forward to get into the 18-inch range, staying within 3 of that objective so I could hold it as well. My Wraith Blades moved up out of this cover. I was going to hold him back, and he was saying, I think you can get up there into that cover and all that, and talked about it a little bit, and I decided, I'll pull them out. I'll run them up there. We did roll for night fighting, so they'll have their cover saved. They have a 3-up armor, so I mean they might be okay. On this side, I moved my Dire Avengers up towards this building. They're going to get inside there for the 4-up cover, 3-up with night fighting. My Wraith Lord, I think he stayed put. But my what is that? Wave Serpent jetted over to the left. It skimmed over so we could draw a line of sight to those scouts. Rolling for the objectives. This one turned out to be a 3, which is Skyfire. That's objective 1. The little white dice, tells what it is. So, objective 1 gives Skyfire. This one was 6, and I don't even know what it did, but it never really came into play. This one was a 2, which was nothing. In my psychic phase, I cast Guide onto my Dire Avengers with my Warlord, so I could reroll misses. Then I cast Perfect Timing on my Wraith Lord so that I could ignore cover, just in case I wanted to try and take out that Thunderfire cannon. Then I cast Mind War, and I got it off, but he was able to dispel it with his special Black Templar thing where he is able to dispel on 4-ups or maybe 5-ups, I'm not sure. But he was able to stop it, so yeah, that sucks. In the shooting phase, I used my Wave Serpent, blew the shields and shot him at those scouts, because their armor is only 4-up, and they get... they have a 2-up cover save, and so I knew this thing ignores cover, so it's about the only way I was going to be able to take them out. And it did. I rolled the 6, and so it's D6 plus 1. I got 7 hits. They all wounded, and he failed 5 of his armor saves. So first blood goes to the Wave Serpent. Killed the entire unit of scouts. In this phase, this is still shooting phase, I moved my Dire Avengers up behind this rubble, which was a huge mistake. I realized my back rank was out of range, couldn't reach him. And so I pulled them up another inch or two, and then shot, killed 4 guardsmen, and in doing so, I left the objective. So, yeah, there's the killed 6 of the guardsmen. So, I mean, that's not a bad showing for them, but I left the objective. So, still in the shooting phase, the 5 jet bikes were able to kill, looks like, 6 more guardsmen on this side of the wall. And, yeah. So, it's a real shame. That's an overlook of the board. As you can see, the Dire Avengers on the right-hand side pulled up forward to get some more shots, and I left that objective. I have a problem in these games remembering the objectives. I'm going to kill the enemy. I play fantasy. When we play fantasy, we usually do battle line, where we're just going forward trying to kill each other. And yeah, I made a mistake here. So I didn't get the 3 objectives and the D3 objective points. I'll have to pick that up later. My Wraith Guard, the Wraith Blades, ran forward to get behind that wall. Like I said, I should have stayed in that building. That was a huge mistake. Yeah, because in his turn 1, he drops a drop pod, puts it right on my head, scatters off a little bit, disembarks 6 inches, gets between the cover and me. And every one of these guys have, I think it's grav weapons, where it wounds on my armor save. And I don't get any armor against it, so that's no good. Everything else sort of shambles forward. His guardsmen take their las guns, las cannons, and get up inside this building to try and contest that objective. Over here, Thunderfire cannon goes off, and it lands all over. Puts a wound on my seer. Kills 5 of the. I keep forgetting what they're called. Dire Avengers. I want to call them Guardians. Kills 5 of the Dire Avengers and puts a wound on my Farseer because he went with the shot that ignores cover, the weaker version. Because otherwise, I mean, that would have been a whole lot less damage. And over here, yeah, this was bad. This was just me not knowing what I'm doing, and because I asked him about the Marines up front, he was like, "Oh yeah, you'd be able to slaughter them." So I went for it, moved up here, and he dropped down and just annihilated that whole unit. So I lost my Wraith Blades turn 1. Fortunately, I went after those scouts, or I would have lost first blood here too. The drop pod turns and shoots its hurricane bolt, or whatever it is. Anyway, puts the template down and kills 1 of the Dire Avengers over here in this building. And there's an overlook of the board. He does not have a psychic phase. We had no combat yet, and so there you have it. Turn 1. Here's a counter for the what happened in turn 1. Eldar got First Blood and Recon. Recon, I had the card where you could get points for. You get a point if every one of the objectives has been discovered. So I got 2 points there. And in his turn 1, he held objective 4. So, 2 points for Eldar, 1 for Black Templars. Alright, Eldar turn 2. I jet my bikes up here, just peek around the corner and get rid of their cover. Bring in my Hemlock Wraith Fighter over here behind this building, so while those las cannons shooting at it, I'll have a cover save and won't have to jink. And bring my Crimson Hunter over on the other side, because he doesn't have any really big stuff to shoot yet, so just wanted to bring him in over here in case if I needed the shots. If I kill that unit, I'm going to use his shots to take out the drop pod, so he won't be holding the objective behind it. But if worst comes to worst, I'm going to use it to kill that unit there in the middle that took out my Wraith Blades. Over here, Wave Serpent pulls up. Now I've already used the Serpent Shield, so I pull up, disembark the Wraith Guard inside 6 inches, and they're going to go in there and try and take care of that Thunderfire cannon before it can do its work. I move my Wraith Lord up around the corner so he can draw sight to things. In the Psychic phase, I got off Mind War again, this time targeting his general. Got him and put 2 wounds on him. So that worked out pretty well. He rolled a 1, I rolled a 6, and he was able to make his saves. But yeah, I was able to put 2 wounds and came real close to sniping his Warlord. But then the Wraith Fighter said they could outdo that. So I put both of my templates down. And the first one got a direct hit onto his Warlord, wounded with a 6. He failed his invuln save and is dead. So nice slay the Warlord for the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. Over here, I pulled my guard back, my Guardian. See there? I pulled my Dire Avengers back and fired into that unit with the grav weapons in the middle, and killed. Looks like I killed 2 of them. And then from the other Dire Avengers, I fired from the other side, killed 2 more. The scatter lasers for my Crimson Hunter, I wanted to finish that unit off rather than go after the drop pod. So I fired my scatter lasers into them and finished that unit off. So wiped out the entire unit with grav weapons. Over here, my 5 Wraith Guard went in. If I had known, see now I don't know which would have been better, using the templates or the cannons. Now I took the cannons. The templates would have been able to hit the Tech Marine as well, but instead they all shot and hit the cannon and blew it up. But the Tech Marine is still standing there. He's contesting the objective, and I don't like that. I wish he were gone too. There's an overlook of the board after my turn 2. Yeah. So, going into Black Templars turn 2, he brings in his first flyer over here behind my Wraith Fighter. Then he moves his Marines over. Oh, you can see on the far right, he brought in his second flyer and put it where he can see my Crimson Hunter. So, yeah, that's the benefit of going second, is the flyers, for sure. He has his Assault Marines move in to meet my Wraith Guard. This shooting here, excuse me, I jink, and he's only able to put 1 hull point onto my Wraith Fighter. I think he stuns it, but the Spirit Stones, I roll and I get to ignore it. So that worked out well. And the las cannons over on the far side there in that building opened fire on it as well. I've already jinked, and I was able to dodge all but 1, took another hit from a las cannon, put a second hull point on it. Again, the Spirit Stones allowed me to ignore the stun result. And over on this side, the Crimson Hunter, the one that I really wanted to keep, didn't fare so well. He put all 3 hull points on it and wrecked it. So that stinks. I like my Crimson Hunter. Then the last cannons inside, not the last cannon, maybe the guys with the plasma rifles, whoever they are, inside the building, shot out the windows and killed 3 of my jet bikes. I had a 3-up save and I failed it 3 times. So it might have been a 4-up, yeah, 4-up cover save, and failed it all 3 times. So 3 of my jet bikes die. The drop pod on the other side shoots again into my Dire Avengers and kills 2 more. And then he assaults with his Marines, gets into combat. I do my Overwatch and kill 1, but not enough. And after combat, I still have 2 standing. So yeah, he killed 3 of them, but they're fearless, so they don't go anywhere, and I guess I'm okay with that. I knew they were going to die when he charged them, but I was hoping they could tie them up at least, and that's what they did. So good for them. There's an overlook of the board after turn 2, and as you can see, it's not by any means it's not a runaway game for either one of us. He got 0 objectives in turn 2. The Eldar got Slay the Warlord for 1 more point, and then now I'm holding 3 objectives. My jet bikes are on 1, my Dire Avengers are on another, and my Wraith Lord is holding a 3rd. So I rolled it up, got 2 points for that. So now the score is 5-1 Eldar. So going into turn 3. Turn 3, I drew Ascendancy again. Then I drew Harness the Warp. So that's actually a really good one with me. With 2 Seers on the board and the Hemlock Wraith Fighter adding a dice to my pool, that's pretty good. My jet bikes failed the morale check and jetted off that objective there. And then they failed to rally in my turn, and they ran again. So that's no good. Over here, oh yeah, my Wave Serpent, I don't know why I didn't get a picture of it. My Wave Serpent pulled up around the side of that building over on the far left, fired its Serpent Shield again, and took out 3 of the last cannons, took out an entire unit of them. In the combat, I don't know why, it looks like I skipped my Psychic phase entirely, but anyway, over in the combat, he was able to finish off those 2 Wraith Guard, and it was that priest, or I'm sorry, Tech Marine, that charged in from the Thunderfire cannon that actually did the final wound and killed off the second one. So again, I'm beginning to wish I had taken those templates so that I could have killed him at the same time, but still, they finished him off and then consolidated on out of that building. Over here, his flyer came up here and just open fired on this unit of Dire Avengers, but as you can see, unless I've already removed a casualty or 2, it failed to really do it due to my cover saves and the save that my Farseer is giving them. So yeah, that's great. Over here, I had run my Hemlock Wraith Fighter way over on the other side of the board, but he was able to pull this second flyer over, get line of sight and fire, and took it out. Took that last whole point off. So Wraith Fighter's dead, both my flyers are down, and now he's got air supremacy for sure. We moved the building for line of sight purposes. I mean the template purposes. But he fired again with that drop pod and killed 3 more Dire Avengers. And that thing's got to go. That thing is just tearing me up. In his assault phase, he charged the Wave Serpent and got in there. So it's pretty much done. And yeah, he finished it off easily enough. I think he did like 6 whole points to it and crushed it. So I didn't get an overview of the board this time, so I'll go ahead and go over the points. In Eldar turn 3, Harness the Warp, I was able to get 3 spells off, 3 psychic abilities off, whatever you want to call them, in 40k, and rolled a d3, got 3, so Eldar went up to, let's see, 4, 5, 6, I got 8 now, and he was able to do really good this turn. He killed a Psyker by killing my Hemlock Wraith Fighter. He scored Objective 5, Objective 1, and Objective 4. So now he's really closing the gap. Now the score is 5-8. Eldar still winning. So going into Eldar turn 4, you'll see I left my Farseer out of the unit on this side, left him in the building. The Exarch led the last 3 Dire Avengers from this unit forward, leaving the building. They're going after Objective 2. In my psychic phase, again, I'm missing pictures from my movement. I know my bikes failed to. No, they did rally. They did rally, but they couldn't move. My psychic phase, my warlord put guide onto the Dire Avengers again. And then the other Farseer put perfect timing onto this unit of Dire Avengers so they could shoot at the. There's a unit of las cannons inside a building that I want to take out, and this should help. His flyer, in my shooting phase, I targeted the flyer, and I think I did this wrong. We didn't go back and really try and figure it out. I'm pretty sure my unit fired at his Marines, and then later I remember the singing spear and put it onto the flyer. And yeah, they have to have that target thing. So if we did that wrong, I wouldn't have been able to target him. But it's funny either way. I rolled a 6 with a singing spear, hit this flyer, rolled a 6 to wound, and anyway, got my penetrating hit, and blew the what is it? Not the las cannons, but the Gatling guns. Anyway, I blew his the one that shoots like 6 times. I blew it off of there. So yeah, love that. Picture the cinematic of that Farseer throwing his spear up at that flyer and blowing its gun off. But at any rate, we go over to oh yeah, my Dire Avengers. They run up to this hill. Rolled a 6. My warlord trait was to add +1 inch to all my run movements. My Dire Avengers run 7 inches, get to this objective, open fire on those 3 las cannons up in that building, and kill all 3 of them. So, excellent showing for them. And this was awesome too. I took my Wraith Lord. He's been hiding out back there holding that objective, but now that the Farseer is over there holding it, he doesn't have to. So I ran him all the way up here at this unit of Assault Marines that killed my Wave Serpent, laid both Flame Templates and fired both scatter lasers in there and killed every last one of them. So that was some sweet revenge to take them out. But if you'll look, again, that stinking Tech Marine is still standing there at the corner. He didn't join that unit. He was just following them. So he's still standing out there. Anyway. He opens fire with his remaining las cannons, hits these jet bikes. I declared Jink, but I fail them both, and they're dead. So that sucks. And over here, he had a score objective 2 times. He had that card twice. So he brought his flyer up and opened fire on these Dire Avengers and wiped out every last one of them. So, yeah, that stinks. There is an overlook of the board. And let's see, this turn, it was my turn to start getting left behind. I held Objective 2, which was one of my cards. That was at the end of my phase anyway, with Objective Secure. And in his turn 4, he was able to get 2 points for holding Objective 2 after wiping out my Dire Avengers, and he also got a point for holding Objective 1. So with 1 turn left, it's awfully close. Eldar turn 5, I pulled my Dire Avengers way off to the left of this building because those Marines are coming in. I know I can't stand up to him in combat, so I just kind of dart them off here to the side. Oh, and the other reason for doing this is my other Farseer is out there by himself, and he has 2 flyers on the board that can fly over and pick him off. So I ran my Dire Avengers as far as I could over here, and then I'm going to run him over and let him join this unit. So anyway, as you can see, I got Guide off on my Dire Avengers, so they can reroll misses. Then through Divination, I cast Perfect Timing on them from my other Seer, and got that off as well, so they can ignore cover. And man, I am missing some pictures. was having to pay a lot of attention to this game because I'm new to 40K, and as a close game, I was really trying to concentrate. But I can tell you what happened. Those Dire Avengers fired into the Marines that just took that building in the middle and killed all but one of them. So that was really good. And then the Farseer in the building, the other, not my Warlord, the other one, threw his spear from the Iandan book and hit the drop pod and wounded it. And I was hoping I'd blow the stupid thing up, but no, just wounded it. Took a whole point off. No, this is still Eldar. That was just after my movement. The Warlord, I'm sorry, the Wraith Lord turned this corner and finally blasted that little Tech Marine or whatever he is, blew him away, and now I'm holding this objective as well. He does a strafe run and goes over my Warlord's. My Warlord's unit kills 2 more Dire Avengers. And there's an overlook of the board. As you can see in that building in the middle, there's 1 Marine holding that objective. So I wish I had known there was only 1. I would have gone back and tried to finish him with something else. But yeah, I thought there were still like 2 or 3 in there. But yeah, it's there's not much left on the board from either of us. His flyers are really the difference, making the difference here. So here we go into Templars turn 5. No, I'm sorry, that was the end of Templars turn 5. At the end of the game, we come to figure the points. Eldar had First Blood, Recon, Slay the Warlord, 2 points for Ascendance, 3 points for Harness the Warp, held Objective 2, and I got Linebreaker with my Wraith Lord. Gives me a total of 11 points. The Black Templars had Objective 4, kill a Psyker, Objective 5, Objective 1, Objective 4, 2 points for Objective 2, hold Objective 1. He got D3 points for holding Objective 3, and then he got Objective 2 again. He also scored Linebreaker for a total of 13 points. So, in the last turn, the Black Templars were able to pull ahead of the Eldar by 2 objective points. You couldn't ask for a much closer game because the Eldar were ahead the entire game. In fact, at the beginning, I almost asked, "Do you want to start this over?" When it was like 8-2 or 8-1 or something, and I said, this is terrible. But as he progressed across the board, I couldn't stand up to him in hand-to-hand with most of my stuff, and so I was having to back off objectives. And he was able to rack up points there at the end really fast. And when he rolled the D3 for holding the objectives and got a 3, that boosted him up there, tied me. And then with Linebreaker and Objective 2, he was able to pull ahead in the last turn. So very, very good game. Couldn't ask for it to be much closer. We figured up the kill points as well. The Eldar had 1,090 points dead, and the Black Templars had 922 dead. So about 168 point difference there. And man, what a close game. With less than a 200 point difference in our kills and only 2 objectives difference. And it's my fault we didn't go to turn 5. We rolled and we would have gone on, but it's the day after Valentine's. My wife and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but we decided to go out the day after, so I had to go and meet with her. But great game, good times, and I'm looking forward to playing him again. I think he's going to bring his orcs next time, so it won't be that close. But yeah, I loved it. It's a really fun. It's so different for me playing this instead of fantasy because it's not nearly as strategic as fantasy is, and but there's different types of strategy. Having to hold the objectives, you still have to concentrate on kill points. Lots of things like that. So yeah, I'm enjoying it and I'm getting the hang of it. I'm also building a Dark Angels army, and it should be able to be fielded here in maybe a month, I should be able to have some paint on them and finish getting some of my models together. And I'll be using them as well, probably even allying them with my Eldar. So yeah, lots of fun. Um, I'll just throw this in at the end. I am a painting commission service. I assemble, paint. I do basing. Um, if you go back through the slides, look at the armor, you can see how I do some of my 40K. But if you're new to the channel, go through some of the others. I got a ton of projects up, or you can go find Unleashed Wargaming on Facebook and look through my galleries there. Or you can go to my website, unleashedwargaming.com, and you can look through my galleries. You can go through, oh goodness, you can find all my Batreps on there. You can contact me through there for prices or anything like that that you want, or email me at unleashedwargaming@gmail.com. Yeah, there's just lots of things you can do here. You can just check me out, see what you think about my painting style and all that. And if you enjoy it, send me a question, send me a model count, send me a list of what you have and what you want done, and I will get back with you with a price and actually a few options too, discounts and letting me pick up the models for you instead of you getting them, and sometimes I can save you money that way. So yeah, check it out. And at the beginning of this, you'll notice that I make my own magic cards, and I can make your own magic cards as well. I do it on very thick cardstock. I laminate them, cut them out for you, and send them to you. So you will have, whatever lures you want. It doesn't matter. Games Workshop seems to release them and then discontinue them shortly after. And I hate that. So I started making them myself, and I can make just about any of them you want. So, by all means, check it out. Send me an email, and I appreciate it, guys. I should have another one up in a couple of weeks, and appreciate you watching.